Ready.
Ready.
Jet
Jet
set.
set.
Go.
Go, 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 go. No to the mall.
Loud one down the right side at the goal line, leaving attempt. Oh, it's free call. Oh, it's a jet
Never too
touchdown.
knows. Pat my bags and go, 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 go. Serve me a brick at the stove. Looking like a shack in the post. Go, 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 go.
From the hills to the moon. Yeah, baby, yeah, we go like don't go. Yeah, in this world, everything's so more. Yeah, behind this wall, there is no photos. Jump on this bitch, oh go, yeah. I'll go right there, yeah, go, go. Watch how you go, hey, yeah, oh, Joe. I need some more, hey, yeah, pronto, hot,
Jumped out the coupe with the black inside, you think I'm racist. Smoking cookie in Atlanta everywhere, you would think I'm recreation. You already knew we made it, we ain't even gotta say shit. Some of the trap was lick, some of the trap was fake. Junior say I'll bring the pay out, bring the pay out. Nigga wanna talk, we bring the pay out, we spray now. They gon' walk right in that.
I might swerve on that corner. Whoa. Hey. First episode of the new year, 2025. It is your boy Brent, aka Take Flight _ today. Joining me each and every week, my dog Alan, aka NY Jets Planet. And Jets are undefeated in 2025. You know what I'm saying? Don't say you heard it from me, but we are undefeated in 2025. So
I mean, hold on. Technically, we said the same thing last year.
technically we did. And technically we did, and we had a great offseason to follow it up. So hopefully we, this season brings us more wins than the initial January win that we are used to having. But yeah, no. We are entering another offseason for the Jets. Early exit. Again, we are not going to be in the playoffs. We will not make an appearance. But this is something that we're used to. We shouldn't be used to it, but we are once again in this position that we have been in for the last 14 years, 14 seasons. All right. So, but to start off, I guess we can talk about what we saw in week 18 and how that played out for us. I guess we can start with you. How do you feel about week 18? First of all, happy new year, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let us know how you brought in new year and how you felt about that week 18, showing that we saw.
How did I bring in a new year? I brought a new year. Everyone in my family has COVID right now, so I brought it in sick. I don't. I'm clean and I don't got nothing. I can't catch nothing. But yeah, I was gonna say I got I can't catch it just like Lazar can't catch nothing. But I will say though, I like honestly, I'm always someone where like I'm never gonna be mad if the Jets lose. Like, was it a meaningless game? It was. Did I really care if Rodgers went off? I didn't. I really didn't. But it was good to beat up on the Dolphins because I hate the Dolphins. And I love the fact that they couldn't make the playoffs after that because I did not want to see them in the playoffs. Facts. So if nothing else, I'm just happy the Dolphins aren't in the playoffs because I'm a full Dolphins hater. I am. If nothing more than being a Jets fan, I'm a full Dolphins hater. I hate them.
Me too.
Them and their fans.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that, and it helps that, or the icing on the cake. After the game, Tyreek Hill basically requested trade, and
Ramsey.
And Jalen Ramsey saying he wants out of there too. So it's kind of cool that we put them in their misery.
Wow, it's crazy. That's two like teams that we just destroyed because like last year it was Bill. Last year we were the icing on the cake for Bill leaving. This year it's the Dolphins. We got to play the Bills next year. Maybe Josh Allen.
Yeah,
I can't take it anymore.
maybe next year we force Josh Allen to demand a trade or something.
Yeah,
But
him and
yeah,
Sean McDermott, they could both go.
yeah. I mean, look, it was good seeing the team go out there and ball out. Like as I was watching the game, like you saw my story on Instagram, I was recording the first play on offense, and it started off with the pick, and I was like, okay, here we go. Like it's just a tip ball pick, and it was almost just like starting off as like how we were used to all season, but Aaron Rodgers, as everybody was saying, he wasn't gonna go out like that, or how everybody knew that he wasn't gonna go out like that. And it's funny because the week before, everybody's saying Aaron Rodgers, worst game, that was the worst game of his career, and he needs to hang it up. And after the last game, it's now everybody is kind of on board with, hey, maybe we should bring him back. Maybe we should bring him back. So I mean, it was good seeing him get his 500th touchdown, and they kept showing the graphic of where the all-time passing touchdown leaders are, and he's 5 behind Brett Favre. He finished, with 5 behind Brett Favre, and for me, that graphic alone tells me that this isn't his last year. He can literally in one season move past Peyton Manning at 539, and I don't know. I feel like the way
He
that
need to
game,
really that one now.
yeah, huh?
He'd need a really good season for that one now.
I mean, look, yeah, like that would be the perfect storybook ending for him to finish third, and I mean that could be a goal of his. But
Yeah, he need
uh,
like 39 touchdowns. That'd be insane.
30, I mean, really, this 33, and he had 28 this year, and he should have had way more. So I mean,
What
look,
is he at? He has 502, right?
503,
He has 503.
yeah,
So yeah,
503
he's
with
37.
yeah, 37. I mean, that's doable, but I mean, based off what I saw in that last game. you know, the old man still has some juice left,
Yeah.
and yeah, I loved watching the game. I loved watching him, you know, you know, dime up the defense. I love watching Garrett with the ball in his hand. I love watching Lazard catch the ball. He was catching the ball. He caught a touchdown.
You know he has his days.
Devontae caught a touchdown. Lazard caught a touchdown. I thought that Randall Cobb was gonna pop out somewhere and catch a touchdown too. The way it was going, but it was good to see. It was good to see, but it definitely raises the question now. Of do we want to see Rodgers back as a Jets quarterback? So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about Rodgers coming back and being the guy? Do you feel we should move on? Where's your head at with that?
Yeah, I mean, like, I've said it since the beginning of the season. I don't think, like, if we were to move on from Rodgers, I don't think you're moving on for him because you think he's a bad quarterback or he can't play. Like, the dude could play. Like, I don't ever question his talent. I do question his ability to ostracize the team. Like, something that I did realize is that the past couple of weeks, he really wasn't looking Garrett's way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a personal thing. Like it does feel like there's some sort of thing going on between those two. I don't really know what's going on there. I think that whoever comes in, GM, head coach, they very much need to figure that out before they go and make a decision. Because if Garrett's like, yo, I don't want to play if he's here, like that's a whole situation you got to deal with. So I don't know. I don't even know why. You know what it is? Winning solves everything. Everything sucks when you lose. So
Yeah.
I think everything comes down to who do you get as a coach? Because at the end of the day, if you're winning, like it doesn't really matter who you have at what position.
Yeah.
I do think you can win with Rodgers, though. All that said, I think I'd probably go get another right tackle, make sure that offensive line, like you'd want a really elite offensive line because your quarterback can't move. So
yeah, definitely need an elite offensive line. And to piggyback off of what you said, I agree with the fact that it comes down to the head coach. It's going to come down to the head coach and the GM pairing wanting Rodgers back, and how they envision the team going forward. but in reality, it's hard for me to like cope with the fact that if we don't have Rodgers as our quarterback next year, and we're sitting at 7th in the draft, we're not getting Cam Ward, we're not getting Shador Sanders. Um, what is our true other option to that where we're not technically tanking, but I mean Tyrod, he's cool. I feel like he's a great backup. I feel like he should have played more games this year, but uh it's tough when you look at the options outside of Rodgers right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily like. I don't know. That one's a hard one because there's so many unknowns. Like you have Jordan Travis, who he didn't play last year. Like, you can't go in there expecting him to be a starting quarterback, but you don't know what he is right now.
Yeah.
You could go get a guy like Justin Fields, again, complete wild card. Put him with the right offensive coordinator. Like I don't think he'd ever come here, but like Kingsbury with Justin Field would be very interesting to see at least. I don't know
Justin
if it would
Fields.
work out, but I would want to see. You just saw how he did it with Jaden Daniels. Like Jaden Daniels, like
Yeah.
most of what he's doing is running, and then he has that occasional like deep bump. But like Justin Fields doesn't
Mhm.
have that much far of a skill gap from a guy like Jaden Daniels.
He
So
doesn't.
I'd
Yeah.
be curious to see that type of combo. And also there's guys like not in the first round after those two, but you got guys like Dylan Gabriel from Oregon.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh. He's a little short
I
to me. He's a little short to me. I don't like his height.
I mean, yeah, I think we say this about every short quarterback, but
Yeah.
sometimes like everyone said the same thing about Russell Wilson. That's what made him go second, third round, and then they won a Super Bowl in like a year or two. So you
Yeah.
never know. Like I'm not saying
Yeah.
again you go bank everything on him, but I think if Rodgers is gone, you have some sort of quarterback competition,
Yeah.
and you just bring a couple guys in and just let them all duke it out.
Right. Nah, yeah. But on the contrary, if you keep Rodgers, you really don't have to touch the quarterback room, and you can kind of leave it as is, with
Yeah, but it
Jordan
depends on
Travis at the sideline.
how much is he gonna take a pay cut for though,
Well,
or
that'll
if
be
at
that'll
all?
be up to Rodgers. Yeah, that'll be up to Rodgers. And I mean,
Yeah.
based off of what I've seen or what he's like said, I feel like he would be open to that avenue of taking a pay cut. I can see something where him and Devontae would take a pay cut to play with each other again for one last time. So I mean, of course, media tries to spin everything to make it, Rodgers wants Rodgers is this type of person, but I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it's really about Rodgers and his relationships with the players and people on the team, and if the guys that we bring in GM and head coach wise, like Rodgers, I feel like it could work. It could work, but
No, it
that's
definitely
just
can.
yeah. That's just me just going off of what I've been feeling the last few weeks. As the season was ending, I was just like, man,
No, but I
the
don't think
season
you're
was
wrong
such a
though.
fluke. Yeah.
Also, like the one thing to keep in mind is like I was looking at it, I'm like, there's not really another team for Rodgers to really go to.
Yeah.
Like, what team is what you would consider a quarterback away where they would trade for Rodgers? There's not a team out there that I think is even close
Yeah.
that doesn't already have a quarterback. Let me
Exactly.
say.
Mhm.
So
And all
it's
the
one of those
ones that
situations.
yeah.
What?
I was saying
Oh,
all
sorry,
the
what were you
ones
gonna say?
that like really like although all the ones that really need a quarterback are kind of like in the market to draft one. The only one that would make
Yeah,
sense, only one that would make sense would be like the 49ers, maybe like that would be like a thing, but it's like
but that'd be
but it's
weird.
like
Like,
they're
so
not
you're gonna let go
yeah,
of Brock Purdy, who's
yeah,
young.
yeah,
He just came with a rookie
yeah,
contract for a guy like Rodgers that you have 1 year out of maybe.
exactly.
I don't know. I don't think they do something like that.
Exactly. I don't see any other place where he would go, you know? It's not gonna
Yeah.
be the
So
Vikings. And it's not gonna be the Vikings thanks to Sam Darnold. So,
yeah.
we can throw out that
Oh wow, imagine that. Like it's
Brett
like
Favre full circle moment. That
yeah,
would be
yeah.
insane. But yeah, no,
But
like
I do
yeah,
think you if I'll say two things. If it can go and figure out a solid pay cut, and then I think it's figuring out the pay cut and figuring out this whole Garrett situation, because obviously there's definitely something going on there. I don't know what it is, but there's something going on there. But whoever we
yeah,
bring in at coach, they just need to figure out those two things, and I think we're back rolling. I think
yeah,
from that point it's just um well, really, it's just getting the right offensive coordinator because obviously this Rodgers offense isn't working.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, that's gonna be the key. I honestly don't know why Hackett is still technically in the building or just a Jet period, but we'll see. I mean, we know that's gonna change up very soon once we hire a head coach. And speaking of head coaches, we've been having an extensive interview slash request process in these head coach in this whole head coach and GM search. It's kind of, I mean, it's refreshing to see we're taking, we're opening every door. But it's just like after a while, it's like, all right, dang, who do we get? It's so many options, like it's kind of getting overwhelming here, like with everybody we're requesting to interview and everybody that we're holding interviews with. So it's like, which one is going to
You
be
mean to
the
pull it up?
best pairing? Yeah, sure, yeah. It's
Oh, I
tough
was
to
ready.
it's tough to like really put it together who is going to be the right pair at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this person and that person could be good, but this person and that person work together, and I don't know. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot. Vrabel was looking promising until the Patriots went and fired Mayo, and now and
Yeah.
now and now we know the inevitable with that going on. So yeah, Vrabel is probably gonna be the Pats head coach, and I hate it, but I love it if we get our head coach right. So with this
Yeah, that's
list,
the
it is
hard
a
part.
lot.
Like when you look at this list, like there's some good names. Some of these are just wasted interviews, in my opinion. Like Ron
Yeah,
Rivera, I don't even know why you even take the time to do that. Like there's no shot.
get out of here, Ryan.
Um, yeah, like guys like Darren Rizzi, I don't see it happening, but you never know, I guess.
No way.
Vance Joseph, that's interesting because their defense is playing like he's a great defensive coordinator. I'll give him that. Just his time as a head coach wasn't good. Um, I'm intrigued about Joe Brady. I don't know how to feel about Joe Brady, man. I
Hmm.
genuinely don't.
I see. I'm
Don't.
not. I think he's a good OC. I mean, possibly
But
could be a good
I like
coach, but is he the guy? Is he the culture guy that we need? I'm
but
not sure.
even if he is a good like I guess the question is first, is he even that good of an offensive coordinator? Like, like he did
Right.
good with what? Josh Allen? Josh Allen is good no matter who the offensive coordinator. Like he had
Yeah.
Dorsey for a
Yeah.
while. And
Yeah.
Dorsey is terrible. Dorsey just got fired from where did he just get fired from? Wherever he was, he just got fired. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you can't tell if it's Josh, Brady, combo of both.
It's definitely Josh.
But they had a great season this year, and it would be nice to always anything I can take away from the Bills because the Bills are right now like the new Patriots in our
Yeah.
division. Let me say that.
Yeah. 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 And that's what it's looking like. But Joe Brady, it's like, you know, when he's with when he's with like when you're paired up with like a Josh Allen, then
Yeah,
it kind of goes down for me. It kind of
yeah,
but when you look at guys like our boy Brian Flores, who's been a head coach before, who was successful in his role as a head coach until the whole, I guess, tank for Tua thing like became a thing. Um uh that's somebody with some head coaching experience already, you know, and you know, people might not remember, but in that whole Dolphins situation, it was Flores versus the front office on winning those games or losing those games, and he was trying to win,
yeah.
and it's a lot of stuff I feel like he's learned from since that head coaching job. He was the DC, I think, in Pittsburgh, and then now he's a
He
DC
was like
with
a assistant coach, I believe.
assistant, right? Yeah, and
Yeah,
then like he's with the Vikings now, and I feel
yeah,
like under Tomlin, under O'Connell, he's kind of learned what he needs to do, and and also learn from his mistakes as well. So I feel like just with that mix, with that head coaching experience, with that falling on your face, learning from your mistakes, being humble, and then going into your next head coaching gig, I feel like that's the type of guy that we want. Somebody who's been there before and somebody who has a passion, who can change the culture, and yeah, just somebody who's just used to winning. You know.
It reminds me of like a Dan Quinn situation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like how
Yeah.
Dan Quinn, he was in Atlanta.
Mhm.
Granted, it started off really good and everyone loved him, and then kind of ended a little poor. Went to the Cowboys. Defense was amazing. They just kind of never really finished a big game.
Yeah.
And then it kind of led to him getting the Commander's job. But then, I mean, I don't know if you just put it on him. I mean, a lot of it was also getting Jaden Daniels, but they turned the organization around though, because
It
the
did. It did.
Commanders, no one put them into like even getting close to winning the division or getting. Well, I mean, they didn't win the division, but they're in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
They're a possible football team. I don't know.
Yeah. Shout out to the 33rd team who
Yeah.
helped get that whole staff right. And
Yeah.
speaking of Commanders, Cliff Kingsbury has been, his name has been thrown around too as well as a possible Jets head coach candidate, or he might get a request soon to get interviewed as well. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. Cliff Kingsbury, I'm like back and forth with Cliff because he was good, then he wasn't good, then he's good now, and it's like, which Cliff are we gonna get? Which Cliff Kingsbury are we gonna get?
I mean, I think he's a good offensive mind. I think that's just kind of where it stops. Like, is he someone that's going to like control the team? Like, I don't think Cliff would be great with a guy like Aaron Rodgers. But again, like, you go throw, like, if somehow he was hired, I think his best fit would have been the Titans, but they don't have a job open. But his best fit is to get a rookie quarterback that he kind of can control for the most part, assuming they're not. Kyler was kind of came out of diva because he was all that hype around him, but I don't think he would do good with Rodgers either.
Kyler was still rookie of the year though with Cliff, I believe. So
yeah, no, he was great. Like that's the thing. It's like he got the best out of him, but then it's like as the years went by, it felt like there was just like a drift in. Like Kyler was just gonna do what Kyler wanted, and then it eventually led to Kingsbury being fired, and now the Cardinals are still in the same place where it's like they have this good kind of start and then don't finish the season well. I used to think it was Kingsbury, but now I'm starting to believe it's more Kyler.
yeah. So, I mean,
it's hard to know.
It's hard to tell with that, but another interesting one on this list is Josh McCown. And you and I were talking about this as well. Some of these people that we are interviewing, might not technically be a head coach, a true head coach interview. Somebody like Josh McCown, I would love him as an offensive coordinator if he has that offensive mind, like of calling plays or anything like that. Because as a QB coach, it's like you're around the offensive coordinator, you're around that stuff, but like, do you really have a grasp of, calling offensive plays? Because McCown's always been like a mentor, in my opinion. Like he's always had a mentor mentality. So, how good is he really in like, like drawing up a playbook and game planning and scheming and things like that?
Well, like what it is, it's so hard to tell with a guy like McCown because, like, for head coach, I don't think you even need to come in like as a like, but I don't think you need to come in with a good scheme or anything because like, you got to think there's a lot of like special teams coordinators that came in and they're great head coaches in the league. So I think it's more about like, can you make good decisions during a game? I just don't think you see a guy like Josh demonstrate any of it. It's one of those like, you're really just taking a Hail Mary with that one. But I love Josh when he was here.
Yeah, no, me too. I love him as like a mentor, but like the verdict is still out on whether he can like scheme up a whole game plan. Then
again, like it's like, and I'm not gonna sit here and throw any shots at Josh. Like I love him, but he did have Bryce Young last year. Bryce Young had a really, really bad rookie year. I don't even think like again another one. I'm not sure if they should have started him right away. So I don't know whose call that one was, but he was a QB coach over there. Obviously, Sam's having the year of his life, but then again, Sam has a really great surrounding team. Like everything comes down to like who's really the one that gets the credit for this type of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think Josh should get as much credit for. And you know, it's great. Who even is the Vikings offensive coordinator?
I think I mean I feel like Kevin O'Connell's the one is the one that
Yeah,
takes
I know,
over
but
the
like,
offense.
is there an actual offensive coordinator over there?
I'm not
No,
completely
I don't. I
sure.
didn't hear anything about him. Like, I haven't
Yeah,
heard anything about like actual offensive coordinator over there.
I
So
think
I'm curious
I
about
mean
that.
I think O'Connell is the one is basically their OC and head coach,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
Josh
but I'm
is like
like, typically they
that's like the
still, yeah,
next
Wes Phillips. Wow,
guy.
poor
Phillips
guy. He
gets
just
no
doesn't like
credit.
no one.
He
Yeah,
gets
he
no
just no one
credit.
even thinks about. Yeah, I was gonna say, how are we talking about Josh McCown? They have a whole offensive coordinator. Just no one. We don't care. Screw
He
that
gets
guy.
no credit. I don't
Thought
even.
about that.
He might not even be on the sideline. It's no credit.
Maybe not,
It's
honestly.
Yeah, Johnny. We want. I mean, me and Alan want. Are all in on Flores as well.
I've been saying it, man.
Yeah,
I think like when you
yeah,
look at this list, especially, like I think he's the I was gonna say most accomplished. Technically, Rex Ryan's the most accomplished, but Rex Ryan's been in the league for 13 plus years. I'm sorry, I
Rex
can't see the
Ryan.
list. I'll say Rex Ryan's the most accomplished on the list right now. But I think I think
Well,
Flores is a solid scout.
Steve too. Steve Spagnuolo. Pretty
Yeah,
accomplished.
I'll give you that.
It's pretty
I give you that.
accomplished.
I'm not gonna lie. What Steve did with that defense is great. How
Yeah,
would he do as a head coach? I don't know. But like if we hired him, I wouldn't be mad, to be honest.
he's a
But
good he's a good energy guy. Like from like just watching Chiefs games. Like he's like very engaged and yeah. So I wouldn't mind a Steve Spagnuolo either. It's up to him whether he wants to leave Kansas City, and take over the Jets. But yeah, hey, no, Flores head coach, McCown is
yeah,
OC.
that's the combo I think would make the most sense in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think like one thing that I think a lot of people kind of overlook, like everyone keeps talking about, and no disrespect to Aaron Glenn. I love Aaron Glenn. I think he's a good coach. I'll say he's a good coordinator. But and everyone keeps talking about, oh, he was a scout, he was a scout. Like, so was Flores. Flores was a scout. If you look back at like the drafts that Flores was a part of, he drafted Andrew Van Ginkel, who's having the year of his life right now.
Mm-hmm.
He drafted Jaden Phillips. He's had a lot of really good drafts in Miami. He hasn't really been there at in Minnesota for too long. But he's built up two really great defenses within two organizations now. So I don't really doubt his ability as a defensive guy. It's just the ability to bring in somebody that can actually run that offense. But I think that's kind of the issue you have with any defensive coordinator becoming a head coach.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And our guy Woody commenting saying most accomplished as a head coach in order: Rex, Vrabel,
Wait,
Nagy, Flores.
as in Rex is the most accomplished, or Rex is less
Yeah.
accomplished? Oh, okay.
No, yeah, I would say, yeah, like,
Okay. Yeah. Oh, as a head, I think he's talking to like the whole Steve's point. Like, yeah. As a head coach, yeah, Rex gets it over. But I was saying like overall coach, whatever. Like I guess you can argue Steve, but as a coach, as a head coach, Rex is definitely the most accomplished. He just hasn't in the league for forever, which is the only reason why I'm a little against it, because I'm like, I don't know what type of like who the heck, he doesn't even know who his coaching staff would be. He said, "Oh, I need time."
Yeah.
We don't have
Yeah,
time.
and so like to piggyback off of that topic, right? How do you feel about Rex Ryan, taking this approach to him basically putting himself in the head coaching role? Like, yeah, I'm 100% confident I'll be the next Jets head coach. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
this
sure
is,
he is.
this is my team. I have unfinished business. How do you feel about that? And then like anybody else who wants to comment on it, drop it in the comments, drop us and tell us how you feel about Rex Ryan being the next Jets head coach and the approach he's taken, in this whole process. But Alan, you go ahead and start with how you feel about that.
Yeah, I mean that's just Rex's personality though. Like we've seen that in his
Yeah.
interviews when he was coaching here. Like I remember that year, he kind of had like that whole Namath guarantee, but it was for the playoffs. He was like, yeah, no, he basically guaranteed that we are gonna make the playoffs, which we did. So I'll give him that. But it's just like that's just his personality. He's gonna say stuff like that. But like even when things are bad, he's still gonna say stuff like that. So I wouldn't take too much. I wouldn't take too much from it. I think that's just Rex being Rex. I don't even think the Jets have an idea of who they are going to get or who they really want. I know they really like Vrabel, but I don't think we are Vrabel's top 2 right now. I would say I think Patriots, Raiders are above us, so it's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is very interesting, and I feel like, I mean, I've been on record already saying, I'm good on Rex. Like he did what he did for us back in the day, and it's like, we appreciate that, but it's just like, what are the chances that you come back and you do it again first year, even though it is kind of history repeating itself as far as like Brett Favre leaves, Rex Ryan comes in, Rex Ryan takes over, takes the 2 FC championships, and now it's looking like, I mean, we saw him on ESPN's, it's getting asked if Aaron Rodgers is going to be the next quarterback for the Jets, and he just flat out says no. I feel like it's not that he knows something. I just feel like if he was a head coach, that would be his decision, right? So, I'm just not. I'm good. I'm good on Rex. It was a good, like for the vibes. Yeah, it's cool, but it's like, yeah, like just like how, I mean, and even like to Woody's point right here, like it's not that he can, like I don't trust him with an offense, and he doesn't even know. I mean, maybe he wasn't trying to show his cards in whatever interview he was in, but depending on who he brings in, I just don't trust it. Like he's an ex. Like it's like you stay where you at. And if yeah, that's just how I feel about it. Like I don't
Only
want
thing I will add
I ain't
to
trying to
play
spin the
some
block.
to play some devil's advocate. Something that is interesting is that his son is currently on the offensive staff for the Lions.
So we're gonna bring in his son
I don't know, but that definitely sounds like something Woody would do.
It
definitely sounded like thinking about like how Woody thinks. I could genuinely see not this Woody, but like Woody Johnson. I could see it. I'm not gonna lie. That's the only thing that kind of scares me because I'm like, there's a point where I could think he's like, oh well, they have somebody in Lions, and I don't know. But with all that said,
Woody Johnson, Brake Johnson, Rex, and his son probably all already planned a PS5 Madden tournament already.
Gosh.
It's I'm good on that. I'm good on that.
Yeah, but like to Woody's point though, this Woody, the biggest issue I think it's with any defensive coordinator is that you cannot trust them to run an offense, and offense runs the league. So that's I think the risk in any defensive coordinator we potentially hire, or defensive guy in general. Like, and you really, really, really need a good offensive coordinator plan. If you're going to come in as a defensive guy into an organization, like it doesn't matter how good your defense is. Like we just saw the Vikings basically get steamrolled because Sam Darnold couldn't finish in the red zone. Because like that's really what it comes down to. Like your team's just constantly getting scored. Oh, your team constantly is like getting that hour and not scoring. Your defense stops believing. Doesn't matter how talented they are. Like part of the game is just believing that you're at the level of the team you're playing against in that moment. So one thing we didn't mention, I know Mike brought it up. That's Mike Dub. That's a day one right there. We didn't mention Pete Carroll. He's not on this list because the Jets haven't requested an interview yet, but I do think he's an intriguing option. He did come from the Jets way back when. So
another ex who hasn't recently been coaching, and
he's only been out a year.
Yeah, I love Pete Carroll. What's up, Mike? My boy. I love Pete Carroll as a person, as a coach, but it's like, I want somebody who has been coaching and has had a head coaching position before. Like,
Well, that's Pete Carroll.
I mean, he's been off though. He's been off the
He's
grid for a
only
little
1
bit.
year. He's only 1 year.
That's enough for me. That's enough for me.
I mean, it's like we're not gonna get unless you want I know someone mentioned Doug Peterson, but unless you want a Doug Peterson
no, I'm
that's
good.
I was gonna say I know you don't want that. But
I'm good.
honestly,
I'm good on Doug
I would like Pete Carroll. I personally just don't think Pete Carroll would ever consider us. But if he did, I generally you know what it is. You want a guy like the most important thing to me as a head coach is that you have to have a lot of connections in this league because everything comes down to being able to get the next guy. Like, well, one, people trusting you as a head coach, and two, you being able to get the next guy, whether it's offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, especially when you're not like on that side of the ball. Like when you're talking about you're not an offensive coordinator, you need to be able to keep getting offensive coordinators. Like I don't want to say easily, but somewhat easily. Like Harbaugh with the Ravens. So like you need or I guess you could argue Tomlin, but like you need to be able to keep getting new guys to fill that position. But it all comes down to people trusting you as a head coach to start off with. I think Pete Carroll has that trust in the league though. So
he definitely.
I think that would be
he definitely does. He definitely does. It's just, like the way. I mean, I can't even recall how his tenure with the Seahawks ended. I'm not sure if it was on a good note or a bad note as far as like the team success, but
it was good. I mean, I think like the issue is they kind of just and the same thing that kind of happened this year. They just had a stonewall. Like Gino, he is good but not great, and there's just not enough, in my opinion, there's not enough talent to overcome that. Not with the way the other teams in the NFC are. Like you have like even like Jared Goff. Like Jared Goff, you could say isn't the I was gonna say he isn't the top. Like skill wise, you can argue he's not like top 10. I would still say he is. You can argue that he isn't, like given his tenure before the Lions, but they have a really, really good offensive line around him, like best in the league.
The best.
And then Amon-Ra is insane. And then they got Laporta, two really good running backs. So it's like you put so much around him to where it's like you can't even really tell how good the quarterback is anymore. It's like when Mac Jones was on Alabama.
Jahmyr Gibbs is really, really good.
Yeah, they have a really, really like it's scary how good. Like that's why I'm like sometimes I call BS on the whole. And I know we haven't even mentioned him, but Ben Johnson. Which granted, I know the Jets aren't gonna request the interview, but I can't even tell if he's really a good offensive coordinator. Like that team is just like too good to tell. Like Ben Johnson. Like
you can tell he schemes up some stuff. Like
no.
Like
there's a lot of stuff.
That's like
that's my point. No. That's exactly my point because that would not work on most other teams. I promise you, if the Jets were to try that shit would end terribly. It would end so badly. I promise you. Like if anyone, matter of fact, if anyone were to even scheme that, they probably would have fired them that day. Like it's just one of those things that you can do that because like it's like you also have to think like who can fake fumble and then still be able to like go get up, go throw the ball. That's just because your offensive line is just so freaking elite. I don't know. I think that's more. He has so much skill that he can like on that team that he can basically scheme whatever he wants and like low chance of failing for the most part.
I mean he's in a great situation to be creative to show off his I guess his creativity as far as like the offensive play calling. So it's like you kind of
but Matt LaFleur sorry I was gonna say Mike LaFleur would be doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you are where your boots are, and it's like, like he is where he's at, and he's showing us like, okay, like you give him like if you have an all right team around him, this is what it's gonna look like, Ben like this is what like you give and you put Ben Johnson in a situation where he has those tools. This is what it's gonna look like, and Ben Johnson, I feel like he's being picky with his process anyway. Like he's not just gonna go anywhere because he knows. Yeah, but
you know what tree he comes from? He comes from the Adam Gase tree. I kid you, like it's crazy. In the alternate world, he would have brought him with Gase would have brought him with him to the Jets. but he went to the Lions the
Well,
year Gase came
yeah.
here. So
Well,
it's
yeah,
like one of those
that
things where
apple.
it's like
Yeah,
what he
yeah,
just
that,
got
yeah,
he just got lucky.
yeah. That apple fell, I guess, way far from that tree. Just fell and rolled all the way down to Detroit. Because that's actually, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
hey, I mean, look, I mean, he might be a schematic coordinator, and I hope he doesn't take like a job like Chicago or like something like
Now, I
that,
heard
because
he
then
said he's
he's
not doing that.
really, yeah, then he's really gonna get exposed, So
Yeah, no.
I hope he,
You know what he's gonna do? If he takes a job, it's gonna be the Jaguars.
Jaguars.
He's gonna
That's
take.
what I was thinking
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
I think if he takes a job, it's gonna be the Jaguars because it's like
Hmm.
he'll take the chance that like Trevor just gets it back together. Then you got Brian Thomas. They'll
Yeah.
probably draft a offensive lineman and then just hope for the best. That's probably what they do. Hope for the
Yeah.
best.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, that's like you put him in a situation like that. It's like, okay, he has Brian Thomas. He has two serviceable running backs. He has a quarterback that
Evan
can,
Ingram.
yeah, like Evan Ingram. He has a quarterback that, if healthy, is on a golf type level here, right?
If not
He has,
higher.
yeah, like, yeah, exactly. So it's like, he can, he picks his situation wisely. We will see the same type of offense, but it's all, just depending on his staff that he has, or the
Yeah.
staff that he's taking over. Somebody on Instagram just asked me, what about John Gruden?
Whew, man. Why we gotta go with like a John? I don't know about that one. I know you like him though.
I do. I mean, I like John Gruden just because of his energy, and just because I know that
He does have good
he's
energy.
yeah, he's like a Rex Ryan to me, like,
Yeah.
but it's just that Rex was an X, and it's like John Gruden.
Yeah.
He's not like an analyst on TV, but we see him doing his breakdowns and like, of the games. Like, he's still locked in. But yes, he is another old man, and it's like that's my only thing when it comes to that. Yeah, I mean, he's been out of coaching. Like it's like, okay, which Gruden are we gonna get? So I mean, I'm not a
Is that
huge
really Dr.
fan.
Phil?
I'm Dr. Phil. I'm not a huge fan of John Gruden, but I mean, look, I wouldn't, if we, give him an interview, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad,
I mean, honestly, if you can interview Ron Rivera, you can interview anyone at that point. Like, just open a door, interview everyone at that point.
Yeah, Ron was. I'm glad we got that out the way first.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm glad we got that out the way, because, okay, yeah, Ron, all right, yeah, nice to you haven't coached, and what was your playoff record? Oh, okay, nice to meet you. I think that was maybe like a practice, like a little practice interview.
Maybe.
Like, okay,
Honestly,
like this is where
they might as well just practice with me.
Yeah, I
I could
mean,
have given him
hey,
a good interview at that point.
me too. I would have, hey, I play Madden. I know how those questions go.
I have a question though. Do you think?
Yeah.
Cause someone asked me on Instagram, well, not just now, but it was a couple days ago. Someone asked, "Do you think the Jets would bring back Coach Brick, like as a defensive coordinator?"
If Brick wants to, one, I mean, it's two things. If Brick wants to, is open to that, that's one, and two, that's if the head coach that we bring in is on board with that as well. Like, it can't just be like it can't just be, okay, yeah, you're gonna be our head coach, but we're gonna have Brick as a DC. Like, no, it's not gonna work like that. It has to be the head coach having a tie with Jeff Ulbrich, and then kind of making that work, because I mean, Jeff got brought in here because he was cool with Saleh. So he's not gonna, like, we're not gonna hire a head coach and then tell him who his defensive coordinator is gonna be. That's not how it's gonna work.
Yeah, that's a terrible decision if you do that.
Yeah,
if you force a defensive coordinator to coach.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's always the question I have. Like, just, well, actually, I don't know. Like, I will say this season made me look at him a little differently, just given how poorly we finished the year. Like,
Yeah.
I understand, like, it's a tough situation, but like the way we finished out with him was terrible. Like we beat
bad.
Like there's only one game where I think we overperformed, I'll say, and that was the Texans game. Outside of that, we beat two teams with backup quarterbacks, one picking in the top 5. The other one was already giving up on their season at that point because that was when that was the Dolphins, and the Broncos were already destroying the Chiefs, so it didn't even make sense for the Dolphins to keep trying in that game. So it's just one of those things where it's just like,
yeah, I just think looking back, like firing Saleh and Joe Douglas mid-season, Woody did that in hopes of that becoming a spark for the season.
Yeah, but honestly, if you really do look back at it, there was no shot in there's no shot in hell that we were going to make the playoffs this year. The moment we lost to the Broncos, our chances were very minimal, and that was before we fired Saleh. Like if you want to look back at it, because the Broncos are the last seed right now. Like, unless we were to actually win that Steelers game, which I guess we could argue,
or the Bills, or the Bills game, or the first Bills game.
Actually, let's real quick. Let's go through it because I can talk you through as to why we still wouldn't make the playoffs. I think it's this one. Yep, it's this one. All right, right. So we started off the year, we lost again. Like we were 2-3, right? And let's put us here at that. No, it was after Vikings game. So it was that Bills game. Mm-hmm. Let's give us the Bills game right there, right? So we're 3-3. I still think we would have lost to the Steelers. I'm gonna give us 3-4, but I think we beat the Patriots 4-4. Even if you say we win against the Texans 5-4, the way that team was coming out in that game in Cardinals, I think there's no way in hell we would have won that. So that's 5-5. I'll give us the Colts 6-5. Seahawks, I still think we lose. Personally, 6-6. Okay. So what do we?
We should have won that.
Cool. What are we? 7-5 at that point?
7-5.
And you think we beat the Dolphins too?
Yeah, because we lost in overtime.
Come on, now see, like that's when, like no, because Saleh was not that good. Saleh was not that good. Like Saleh did have his times. I know bullshit because like no.
Saleh wasn't that good, but what he was good at was halftime adjustments, and all in half those games we lost, we had 0 halftime adjustants. Like it was.
So what do you think is going to
bad.
happen in these circumstances? Like honestly, I don't think we beat the Seahawks. I think we do beat the Dolphins there, but like at that point, like the season's already over because I think the moment we lose to the Steelers, you got to think those are the two teams with the playoff spots. Like we would have to win 10 games, and we weren't winning 10 games. Actually, even if we lost to the Steelers and still won 10 games, still don't make the playoffs. The way that the seeding ended up. So unless we beat the Steelers and then won 10 games, that's the only shot we would have made the playoffs. But it's a very small.
It would have came down to week 18 and somebody winning and losing and
it wouldn't have mattered because like my thing is like, do you see a path where we would have won 11 games? There's no way in hell I'll call it. 10 games, it's a possibility, but like if we won 10 games and we don't beat the Steelers, we don't make the playoffs. Because if you look at it, it's the Steelers. What were the
Broncos' record this year?
They won 10 games.
They won 10, okay.
Yeah, so it's like we don't have the win-loss over them, so we're under the Broncos no matter what. I know the Steelers are above the Broncos. I don't know what their tiebreaker was. But if the Broncos are above the Steelers, if the Steelers are above the Broncos and we lose to the Broncos, so we're below the Broncos, we were fucked the moment we lost to the Broncos.
Yeah.
Even if we win 10, and I know like some people were saying like, oh, we could have won 10 games. Even if we won 10 games, we still don't make the playoffs, is my point.
I don't know because we're just looking at it from our from our schedule perspective, but like I don't know. It's
like nothing else changes because the Broncos still win 10 games. And the only thing that would change is if you beat the Steelers right there. If you beat the Steelers and you win 10 games, then I don't know how that seeding works out because I think I do think we make it.
To be fair, if we in that Steelers game, we had a great first half of football. And what I was saying was Saleh is the king of halftime adjustments or just coming out of the half and playing better. He's like that was proven. He like after halftime, even if we were losing, if we were winning, if we were losing, we always look better after the half. But after we let him go, we always look terrible after the half. Like it's like Ulbrich was just like,
But it wasn't just defense. Like, yes, the defense crumbled in the second half, but you also got to think like that was the game Rodgers threw 2 ints, and that was the whole game that basically ended the whole Mike Will experiment. So like I think regardless, like what happens on offense happens on offense. I don't think you beat the Steelers, and I think at that point it doesn't matter unless you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Unless you win out, which was very unlikely. It wasn't gonna happen. It was never gonna happen. It's just one of those situations. Like once you accept that it was never gonna happen, which granted, like we would have just been in the same spot. Like, we just missed the playoffs. Like what do we do? And now we're in this weird situation. Like I don't know in that case.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. Send that 2-3. I didn't think the season was over. I think I feel like with Salah, we could have still went on a run. Like runs are possible. Like a 4-game winning streak could have been possible. With our guy at head coach, with the adjustments that he makes all the time, with his leadership, with the way he carried himself. Him getting fired was a huge blow to like this team morale, period. Like let's not even talk about like the wins, losses, interceptions each game. Like the team morale was just deflated after that. Like that's what really took us out. Like that's really swept us from under our feet. So I know.
Look, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm just saying that like I think we are giving Salah too much credit. Like, we would win. Because like honestly, like it would really come down to like again, it comes down to either winning that Steelers game or winning 11 games. I think with Salah, I don't think those things those are fixed points. I think we lose to the Steelers and we don't win 11 games. Like I think no matter what, we weren't making the playoffs. The only difference is we have a later pick and we're back in that same situation we were last year, which is like, what do we do? Like, do we keep our coach? Do we not keep our coach? I don't know. So I don't know. Like you also got to think like Rodgers was still in that funk in the beginning of the year. Like he wasn't there yet. He came around, I would say, after the bye week. So like there's that possibility, but I think the games we need to win were early on and we didn't win them.
Yeah. And I mean, look, and honestly, so let's not forget this either though. Salah was planning on turning over play calling duties from Hackett. He was that was his plan to stop Hackett from calling plays anymore too. So I mean that mixed in with like I don't know. I feel like Salah had a game plan after that Vikings game, and he got cut before he can even put that into place and see it, transpire at all. So I mean, like it is what it is. But us winning 10 games, it definitely could have been. It might have been 11 games if we go on a little run or something, So I mean, it's all hypothetical, but
it's all hypothetical.
Yeah, but it's like, for me, it was just like it was like a week 5 like mental like deflation. It was just like, dang, our coach is all right. You know what I'm saying? Like the motivation just dropped after that, and we can tell. And Ulbrich wasn't gonna take us to the playoffs or anything like that. So I mean, that was just
I didn't think he was gonna do that bad.
Yeah, that was just written in the stars. So yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is. And this is actually my dad on my little brother's account, talking about Rex. He's a huge Rex fan.
Yeah, but it's the same thing we keep saying. Like it all comes down to getting the right offensive mind. Like ideally you get an offensive coach, offensive head coach. I'm gonna bring it up real quick. The great OC. The issue is it's like both of those are really hard to find. Like it's not like you just find those in thin air. I think that's why they interview guys like Brian Grease, Josh McCown, in my opinion. They try to understand, like, are those guys you want an offensive coordinator? Because if you hire a defensive guy and they're bringing an offensive coordinator, like the offensive coordinator matters just as much, if not more, than the actual head coach at that point.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
if you look at like the Commanders, like if the Commanders didn't get Kingsbury, I don't think they have nearly the same amount of success right now.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to that.
Yeah. No.
But it's gonna be interesting. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could be in these interviews. I wish I could be a fly on the wall.
Yeah. Bring up the GM list too.
Yeah.
I mean, like we can like speak lightly on that as well. It's and like I was saying before, it's like which head coach GM pairing are we really like down for? And me personally, I love Louis Riddick. He doesn't, I guess, necessarily have any ties to anyone. I know he likes Flores. He's spoken good things about Flores online, like on TV, but Mike Greenberg is a Jets fan. That'll be cool, I guess. But when I look at this list, I love Mike Borgonzi. That's our guy. I love Louis Riddick.
And I missed Chris Spellman. They just requested an interview today.
That was
I think that would be a really good
that was very interesting. That was very interesting that we brought him in. Well, did we bring him in or did we just request?
I want to say they just requested.
Okay. But I mean, his brother is, his brother has the 33rd team.
33rd. Yep.
So that's I don't know. That would be a good pairing, depending on who he wants to bring in as a head coach as well. But I love Louis Riddick. I hope it's not just like a Rooney Rule thing that we brought him in. I feel like I'm hoping that we really actually are considering him as one of the candidates here. But yeah, Spielman. When I saw that today, I was like, okay, like that was. He wasn't even. He's not even somebody that we had even thought of, in the process. But very interesting to say the least. I saw Hallaby today that we brought him in for an interview. I'm kind of over Eagles front office guys.
I forgot which analyst said it, but someone was like, you should just offer Howie Roseman a stake in the ownership and just ask him to come over. I'm like, imagine like that is like an insane thought to even think of something like that.
Yeah, bring Bryce Huff back with you, because
no, don't do that.
That's our guy.
Let him stay.
Went over there for dead. That's crazy. Take a sign, Reddick. Take him back.
Anyone can have him. Honestly, like I'm curious if Salah just takes a bunch of guys from us.
DJ Reed might be one. I'll tell you that much.
I think DJ. At first, I got to see where Salah goes, but I have a very ugly feeling that Salah's going to the Bengals.
The Bengals as a DC.
Yeah.
The 49ers opened up their job again as well.
I know that was my second choice, but like I think Salah's gonna, after what he just went through, Salah's gonna want a team that has an established quarterback. And nothing against Purdy, but like Purdy's no Burrow, so I could see him going to a team like the Bengals. You have Trey Hendrickson. I know he loves his edge players.
I'll be scared.
And then if you get a guy like DJ Reed, you could really turn that defense around very quickly.
Very, very quickly. And it's not like they were playing terrible.
They were playing very bad. They were averaging.
I mean,
they were giving us like
towards the end of the season. Towards the end.
They were giving 30 points a game though.
Yeah. I mean, like throughout the entirety of the season, they were terrible. But like towards the end, they were starting to make plays and everything like that too. So, I mean, hey,
yeah, but you could definitely turn that defense around pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I mean, like with the right defensive mind, you bring the right pieces back, you add in some new pieces. I'd just be scared because I'm like, crap. I hope he doesn't take because we have a lot. Well, I don't say a lot, but like DJ Reed, Jamie Sherwood, Reddick could leave. I don't care. Brandon Echols, Tony Adams. I know some people hate him right now, but like it's just a lot of guys on the market right now that you're like, oh crap. Like I'm curious who we're gonna lose. He could take Kinlaw. He could take him. He could finally take Solomon Thomas back. Take him forever.
I don't know if you saw when we had that fumble and he missed almost. Oh, well, he did. Didn't almost. He missed the little scoop
Yep.
on the fumble again
Yep.
versus Miami. I was like, bruh, how do you miss
So
the whole ball on the scoop? And then Quincy
I
gets
don't
it and
know.
then just trips over Solomon.
Yeah.
Solomon it was doing the front flip in front of him. I was like,
Yeah, that was
bruh,
supposed to be a
come on.
touchdown too.
Yeah, like, come on, bruh.
That was an easy tutty.
That
That was a
play
weird play.
that play pissed me off
I thought
so
they were
bad,
purposely
bruh.
doing that just to tank. They're like, I don't know if we really want to win this one. There's no point in tanking that last game because we even if we were to lose, we would be one spot higher right now.
Which made it didn't do anything. So I'm
Yeah,
glad that
it
we
did nothing.
won. I'm glad that we won, but like I've seen Calais Kimball scoop up some ground fumbles and take it at least 10 yards. Solomon literally missed the entire ball. I'm like, bro, are you serious? And then you were a roadblock, and because Quincy doesn't have any vision when he gets the ball. He just takes off just with his eyes closed, and just I was like, wow, okay, at least
It's
we
the one
scored.
thing I won't miss about Salah. Salah, I'll say him and JD. They get like this fixation with like players that they draft sometimes that they just don't let go. Like
Yeah,
Solomon Thomas, Javon Kinlaw, Zach Wilson. Like they
yeah,
don't let go. And that was
yeah,
the part where I was like, I think it would be a whole. I don't want to say it's a whole different one, but it's like sometimes you just got to know when. All right, this isn't gonna work out, or at least like give a player some time to really be able to just, do a full
yeah.
reset. Like Bryce Young, he did a full reset. I want to say a full reset, but he did a solid reset and then came back
Hmm.
and he ended the season crazy. And I think he ended the season like, if I'm not mistaken, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the last games,
Bryce
something like
Young,
that,
yeah,
or 7
yeah, no,
touchdowns, something like that.
yeah. Bryce definitely like ended the season like on a good note, and I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we'll see how he starts the season next season, but
That's the main thing. Like, how do you
that was good
play
to see.
when you have something to lose?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see about that. But I guess to wrap it up, I want to talk about our seventh spot and where we're sitting, going into this
Oh.
draft, because again, we are top 10, for the billionth time, and it's like we've had recent success, but uh, you know, where what are we feeling with the number seventh pick? Granted, we are going to know basically what those top three picks are, you know, like we kind of have a feeling of what those top three picks are going to be. I don't know if you can
I
bring
would
it
say
up.
we know for sure at this point.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We know,
Like
yeah,
we
yeah, we know.
know in some order it's Cam Ward, Shadir Sanders, Travis Hunter. I'd be a little shocked if it wasn't.
Yeah, yeah,
Mostly just because like the Giants are third, Brian Dable, that GM, like Joe Schoen, they're on their last. Right now they have like a 1-year grace period.
mm-hmm,
So I think whatever they do, they're gonna want to buy some time. So I think even if they didn't like the quarterback, I think they just take him just so they can buy themselves some more time. Potentially, like if it works out, then great. They get new contracts and everything.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think they're definitely gonna go, and if they can, they'll draft a quarterback. If not, they'll just take Travis.
Yeah, yeah. Those top three are pretty locked in. But then at those top three, that's when it gets interesting. It's like which team is going to reach for a quarterback because it happens every year. The consensus quarterback picks go early, and then another team comes up or just another team in that top 5, top 7 drafts a quarterback and pushes somebody down. Who are some prospects that I guess 2 or 3 off the top of your mind that you like for us sitting at 7 if we were to sit at 7, because me personally, if the board, if people get pushed back, I'm cool with trading back, but I want to hear what you think about who we should take at 7 if we just sit there.
Yeah, I think I've been very consistent on Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
I know it's like not another edge rusher, but I do worry about Will McDonald's ability to set the edge at his weight. Like, and granted, like I know it's like, yeah, he can gain weight and he can put on weight, but he hasn't, and it's starting to feel like he might not have the ability to really put on that weight, at least in a healthy way.
Yeah.
So I will say I'm just truly infatuated with Abdul Carter, especially like I have this vision, right? My vision is you get in a guy like Brian Flores, he runs a 3-4 defense. You get Will McDonald to play that like Andrew Van Ginkel role. And then your 3 down would be Quinnen, JJ on one side, Abdul Carter on the other side, and you're just consistently blitzing with Will McDonald all the time. Just goodness
Or even
gracious, like how do you block that?
or even Abdul standing up. You know, I feel like he's
like you kind of go and you
yeah,
you move people around. You know, it's just one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh, it just sounds like a terrible thing to try to block, but you know, it'd be the funnest. Because that's the one thing I didn't like about Salah's defense. Like Salah, he's a great defensive mind, but he's very conservative. He does that whole, and it's not nothing wrong with it, but it's the whole. Like I think if he could, he would rush 2 people, like and then like one of them would be a backup because he doesn't want anyone to get hurt. It's like it's so conservative to a point where it's like sometimes it's like it's not fun anymore. But like it would be cool to just like have that type of scheme that you're just completely. Like Flores is a blitzer, and his whole thing is like we're gonna create plays. We're gonna try to make the offense turn over the ball. I think that would be great if you are to keep a guy like Rodgers. Even if you're gonna go with a younger quarterback, like you want your defense to really be able to create those plays. So your quarterback has as many opportunities as possible.
Yeah, no, I really like Abdul. I really like Abdul, and I remember when like a few months ago when people were saying Abdul Carter another edge. I'm like, another edge? Like, what are we doing? Taking another edge? But it's like I've been watching him lately. I'm just like, bro, this kid's a dog. he's a dog, and he's you know, and he reminds me. I mean, it's easy to compare him to Michael Parsons because
I was gonna say it's Michael Parsons. It looks just like him. Same number, everything.
I'm like, bro, like I don't know, like, and we passed on Michael Parsons before. So I mean, when I watch Abdul Carter, I'm like, sheesh. You know what I'm saying? He would be lethal, right? Somebody else that comes to mind. If we do let DJ Reed go, is Will Johnson. The DB from Michigan, I believe. He's a dog too. I just, you know, and I say his name because I see that's a popular choice. But you know, it's like I don't know if I want to pick a cornerback that high, you know, again.
Especially you already have Sauce. I would like them to bring back Echols and let him start on the other side, to be honest. The only thing I have against Will is that I know it's like a weird thing to say, but I don't like having 2 tall, lengthy corners. Like 2 of them feels like overkill just because it's like especially the way Sauce plays, like you don't want 2. Like, you know, I know Will, I'm not gonna say Will and granted, they're both from Michigan, which is kind of cool. They're both from D-Town, but it's just I don't know how I feel about that. Just because like, you know, you get those teams like the Dolphins where they got those 2 small, speedy guys. Like, how do you match up against stuff like that? That's what worked with like a Reed and Sauce. So you kind of had a mix of both.
I definitely feel that. I mean, I don't know. Regardless, I feel like we add a DB to the room. Period. Like whether it's in free agency or I mean somewhere in the draft again. But I mean, like we still have. I mean, I like Echols, Stiggers.
We don't have him. He's a free agent.
He's a free agent. Well, I mean,
resign him.
Yeah, if he's a free agent, I don't know if he'll be back. You know, like that's
that's the part I don't know either.
That's a question mark because like if unless the coach wants to come in and be like, hey, I remember watching your film last year. Like I like how you play. Stay here. I mean, he's expendable because he gets beat too. He got mossed on by Amari Cooper a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so, but like he's still, I don't know. I wouldn't let him go just because you don't have anyone that like. What are you gonna do? Put Stiggers in there, and you don't really know what you're gonna get from Stiggers. So you don't really have someone you trust right now. Yeah. So I think if you're gonna go the rookie route, it's always good to have someone where it's like you at least know what the floor is. Like you know the ceiling's a little limited, but you know what the floor is at least.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I protect.
Gives you.
Yeah, I have to check the free agent cornerbacks as well because
Yeah,
that might be an option. That might be something that, and then depending on who we bring in, they might want to bring one of their guys. Like to pair up with Sauce as well. So, I mean, hey,
that's true too.
Jalen Ramsey, sign
That's
me
not
up.
happening. That's
Si-
not happening.
Sign me up,
There is
Jalen.
no shot.
Jalen. I heard you one out. I heard you one out.
There's no shot.
I heard you
There's no
one out,
shot.
Jalen. All right,
I,
come on,
I
come on.
I think if he leaves, like the
Hey,
way this league goes, everyone just wants to do this whole super team thing. So he's gonna go. Honestly, I feel like Jalen would be a sellout. I feel like he would go to like the Chiefs.
probably,
He
probably,
he, he seems like a
probably,
sellout to me.
probably. But if he wants to stick it to the Dolphins or something, we got a spot for you on the Jets, buddy. I mean, hey, you
No, we don't.
you, you tell me. You tell me. You tell me. All
Boy,
right,
I just want to address this whole Carter isn't realistic real quick. Right.
mhm.
All right. Let's look at this top five. Like we said, 2 quarterbacks, Travis Hunter in the top 3.
Carter's definitely real.
I was gonna say the Patriots aren't taking Carter because they're gonna go with either offensive tackle or wide receiver for their quarterback.
Yeah.
The Jaguars aren't gonna take him because they have 2 edges right now. Like that would, like, you have Josh Allen, you have Trayvon Walker. That's like the last thing they need, and whoever they bring in is most likely gonna be offensive guy. Probably gonna go offense. Vegas is the one you start worrying. Like I don't know what Vegas would do. I
They
think it
might
really
take a
depends
quarterback.
on.
I think Brady's going to go all in on drafting his guy this draft. It might be a
He's got
Quinn Ewers, might be a Jason Jalen Milrow, but I think Brady is all in on getting a quarterback because this is his first offseason as the partial owner, and I think he wants to make an imprint. I think he will go after a variable as well. So I see
possibly like
Vegas. I see Vegas getting a quarterback. I love that Vegas
I
is in front of us. To be completely honest,
yeah, and also it depends on how, like, who's there. Is there anyone that's hyped up? Like I know they're saying Drew Aller might declare again, so maybe he declares and then they hype him up to be the
yep,
6th pick there with Vegas.
yep.
So possibly. But like
Mhm.
regardless, Vegas is a complete wild card at that point. But I definitely think Carter at least makes it 6. And it's like a 50-50 shot at that point if he makes it to us or not. So I don't think it's like I can tell you right now, I would say it's a 90% chance he's not a top 5 pick unless someone trades up.
Who are you talking about?
Carter Abdul.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Like
I
just
think
no
I think
one
we are.
needs an edge right now.
Yeah, I think we are in a good. I feel like it's a very good position for me. Like I love the position we're in because of all the of all the teams in front of us who may reach for a quarterback, and we see it every year. We see guys like after the first few consensus pick goes, it's like okay, like let's get our guy now. And especially a lot of we're gonna see a lot of first time head coaches in, with the Jags, first time head coach with the Raiders. They're gonna want to get quarterbacks or not the Jags per se, but guys like franchise, like really franchise pieces. They're gonna want to hit on that. So I definitely
They're
see
good.
the
Like
Raiders.
the issue is you got to understand like who they're hiring. Like these,
Yeah,
and granted, it all depends on like who each team actually hires. And that's why I said the Raiders is such a crapshoot because I don't know who their head coach is going to be, but I can tell you if they get a offensive head coach, they're going to pick an offensive guy. Like it's almost guaranteed
yeah,
at that point, just because that's how the league works, and
yeah,
offense again runs the league. So that's how it typically goes.
yep,
But with that said, like I will say, I think there's a chance the Raiders do it, but I can tell you right now, the Patriots either get Vrabel or offensive guy. They're going offense just because they have a young quarterback. So like they need to surround him with more talent regardless. And then who else was it? The Jags. Yeah, the Jags aren't taking the
yeah,
edge. So
yeah.
it's
They're
it's
not. Yeah,
either the
they're
Raiders
not
or
taking
us. And also the Raiders could take Graham, Mason Graham.
that.
So
Yeah,
who knows? It's all a crapshoot
I'm
this
saying,
early.
I'm saying,
Like there's a
I'm
lot
saying.
that can happen that can either make a guy higher in the draft board or lower. I remember Olu was the consensus top offensive tackle for a long time, and then next thing you know, it was all Joe Alt, and then he kind of just went and started running with it. So you never know.
I'm saying. I think is like at sitting at 7, we're gonna have a great player fall to us, and um, Again, I wouldn't be mad if we traded back and like took a haul if somebody wanted.
It's not good enough draft for that.
Yeah.
Unless someone gave us a player
well, yeah. But it's like, I mean, I know.
or
I mean,
next year's draft
honestly,
pick.
yeah. I was about to say like if they include like a next year's, you
Yeah,
know, like a next year's like late first rounder or something like that, or like
yeah.
second rounder and whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'll take it. And I mean, also like your guy you had mentioned a few weeks back, Banks out of Texas tackle.
Yeah, I kind of think he's going to the Patriots. I kind of feel like the Patriots are going to go all in on
What, at
offensive
4?
line.
At 4?
Yeah.
Isn't there another OT that was higher than him from LSU?
Yeah, Will Campbell.
Will
They
Campbell.
kind of go like every week. It kind of changes. I
Yeah,
know
and
Banks. He's currently like he's been having his injuries, so there's a chance Will goes ahead of him. It's back and forth.
yeah, but like the fact that we're having this conversation means that one of these guys is gonna drop. So it's
Yeah.
like everybody can't draft anybody. So I mean, I'm excited to see how that goes, and we'll talk about the draft more like once we like get closer to the draft.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was just like I guess a little just our initial thoughts
taster.
about just like our initial thoughts about the draft.
It's the appetizer.
Yeah, a little appetizer. But I mean, before we wrap up, I wanted us to make like playoff prediction picks because I want us to like play it back if we, what I'm saying, all right, with these. But so I guess we can just run down the line. I don't have them like pulled up, like the whole schedule, but I think I know them like off the top of my head. So
I can look it up real quick.
Okay. It's gonna be a cool playoffs. I feel like some of these early wildcard games are gonna be blowouts.
You think
I
though?
don't know. I don't know. In the AFC, yeah. In the AFC, I think we're not gonna get good football. NFC is gonna be good. It's gonna be good games, but I feel like these AFC matchups, it's gonna be like, what the fuck are we watching?
Crap! It always does this shit. Sorry, I had it up and then let me just go back. Here is this it? Yeah, this is it. All right. So first up, we got let's do NFC first. You got the Vikings and Rams. Who you going with?
Vikings, Rams, Vikings.
I'm gonna have to go Vikings too.
Yeah, Vikings.
Commanders, Bucks.
I'm
going Commanders.
I'm gonna go Bucks. Since you went Commanders, I'm gonna go Bucks. That's that's in Tampa too, right?
That's in Tampa. They have
It's in Tampa.
I'm still go Commanders.
Oh man, I mean Commanders are definitely gonna play that game turned up though. They definitely.
It's gonna. I don't see it being a blowout either way.
Yeah, no, I don't see that game being a blowout.
I think the Commanders are on that high, and I think they got to win at least one playoff. Like, kind of like how Stroud won that one game last year. Like they got to win at least one before they lose.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a lot of games this season where the Commanders have had very exciting endings, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I can see that kind of like it being an exciting ending, but the Bucks get it in or something, So I mean, and Bucky Irvin is like, he is playing out of his mind right now, and they're susceptible to the run. So I mean, hey, we'll see. And you know what's crazy with that matchup? It's gonna be Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore. And you know how they were like
they got so much beef.
They got so much beef, bro.
Oh
that's
my
gonna
gosh.
be a good
game.
That's gonna be a good one, bro. Like
that's gonna be a good game.
I saw that. I was like, wow, the football gods really put this together like this. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but
that's good.
I got Vikings and Bucks.
Okay, and then last one, Green Bay Eagles.
That's
Eagles have home advantage.
Eagles have home advantage.
I'm gonna still go Packers.
You can go Packers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Eagles. Jalen Hurts coming back.
Yeah, I got 2 upsets. Actually, that's crazy. I have all upsets in the NFC right now.
Rams. Oh, well, the Vikings are the favorite.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess it might be like the favorites, but technically, Rams have the higher seeding
Oh, okay. So
because
Rams are the home
division.
team. Okay, that game actually might be
Mhm.
played in Arizona too because of the LA wildfires right
Yep,
now.
yep. That's what they
So
said. They just put that out not so long ago.
yeah, so if that happens, then sorry Rams. But yeah, Vikings. I got Vikings, Bucks, Eagles.
Yeah, I got Vikings, Commanders, Packers, and an
Okay.
AFC.
Okay.
This one is the Chargers, Texans.
Chargers, Texans, Chargers.
Yeah, I gotta go Chargers too. Harbaugh,
Texans have,
he's on a run right now,
Texans have been looking like poo poo.
and the Texans
I'm
have been
sorry.
looking like poop. I don't know what happened.
This,
That's why I'm like, I was surprised that we even like interviewed Bobby Slow. That's how bad it is.
I think all the injuries are like catching up to them right now.
Yeah.
You know, but
But
I
good
like
coaches find a way because the Chargers
yeah.
they were really injured at some point this year too. But then
I want to
they
see.
didn't stop them from winning.
I want to see a Harbaugh versus Harbaugh playoff matchup. So yeah, I'm going
Oh,
for the
that's a good
Chargers.
one.
I'm going for the Chargers.
And the next one, Steelers, Ravens.
Ravens.
Okay.
I'm
And
going Ravens.
then Denver, Buffalo. Oh, sorry. I said I'll say Ravens too. I'm a big I'm a Steelers hater ever since we lost to them. Denver, Buffalo.
Denver, Buffalo. I feel like I picked all favorites so far. So I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go Broncos.
I'm actually with you. I
Yeah.
I hate the Bills too much to ever root for them or pick them in anything. So I'm always gonna go against them. I'm gonna go Bo.
Go Bo. Hey, come on now. I mean, and it's not impossible either. You know, like
I don't think it's impossible.
yeah, like I don't know what the money line is on that or what the line is. But
I wouldn't put any money on it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, no,
I wouldn't put any money on
I
it.
don't know,
But,
I don't know what the plus or minus is for like the winner and the loser. But I mean, I mean, it's gonna be in Buffalo, cold. I mean, if it doesn't snow, then I got Bo.
oh yeah, it is in. Nah, I still got Bo. Bo came from Oregon. That man could play. That man is playing all them years in college. He could play in the weather.
That's what I'm saying.
He's in Oregon. He'll be fine. Yeah.
He'll be all right.
Go Bo. Go Bo.
Yeah, go Bo.
Honestly, it doesn't matter because if I don't know, that's the second part about being 7 seed in the AFC. He plays the Bills first, and if Broncos win, they're gonna have to play the Chiefs right after.
Who they just kind of beat the backups.
Yeah.
And lost earlier off a block kick. Right. So it's like
and then
they can
most
beat
likely
them.
But it's like you gotta go play the Bills, then the Chiefs, then most likely, if like in the case that I see it happening, is the Ravens. So I'm like, it's just like such a hard, like that's just such a terrible path to try to. But like honestly, you can't call them like they lucked their way in there. Then at that point, if you beat the Bills, the Chiefs, and then the Ravens, kudos to you. You did.
He might Bo Nix might be on his Sanchez stuff this year. You know, like
I mean,
honestly,
that's low-key what it's looking like.
We've seen it get done before, and I would love to see the Bills get knocked out first round. That would be
oh my gosh,
that would be so amazing. That'd be amazing.
And that'd actually make our interview stuff a little easier. We could just cross Joe Brady off the list right there.
Yep. No, sir, buddy. Nope. But yeah, no. Okay, yeah, no. So we'll circle back with those picks like once after this weekend. It should be a good weekend of football. But
I'm excited.
But yeah, now we're coming up on an hour, 20 minutes. Appreciate everybody that came in and was rocking with us today. Make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, subscribe to Uptown Sports TV, and yeah, until next time, which will be next week, we will see y'all. Hope y'all have a happy new year and y'all accomplish all of your resolutions and goals.
Facts.
And I hope the Jets win some games this fall. All right.
New year, new Jets.
New year, same Jets. Hopefully.
Same old Jets.
Hopefully.
Now, but hopefully, new
it's New Year,
GM, new coach,
Yeah.
new Jets.
Yeah.
I feel like we say this every year.
That's what I'm saying. Like this has got to be the year. It's the year 2025. Get it done.
Hey, a broken clock is right twice a day. So
exactly.
At some point.
Exactly. Yeah, it's got to happen at some point. But yeah, we'll see y'all. We'll see y'all soon. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We will see y'all next week.
Into the air, into the end zone. Oh, man. Wow.